The rain was falling harder than it had all evening. The kind of rain that turned the streets into mirrors and made every passing car disappear behind a wall of water. I was driving home after a long day at work, thinking about nothing except getting a hot meal and a quiet night. My name is Daniel, and I was never the type of person who expected anything special from life. I worked as a mechanic in a small garage on the edge of town. I fixed cars, solved problems, and helped people get back on the road. It wasn't a glamorous job, but I enjoyed it. That night, as I drove through the empty highway, I noticed a car stopped on the side of the road. Its emergency lights were blinking, and two young women were standing outside, looking worried. I slowed down. For a moment, I thought about continuing. It was cold, raining, and I was exhausted. But something inside me told me to stop. I parked my truck behind them and stepped out. "Are you okay?" I shouted over the sound of the rain. The two girls turned around. One had a worried expression, while the other looked relieved. "Our car suddenly stopped," the girl with the worried face said. "We tried calling for help, but there's no signal here." "Let me take a look," I replied. "You know how to fix cars?" The other girl asked. I smiled. "That's what I do." They quickly moved under the small shelter of the car door while I opened the hood. The rain soaked my jacket within seconds, but I ignored it. After checking a few things, I realized the problem was simple. A wire had come loose near the battery. "Do you have a flashlight?" I asked. The girl handed me one. A few minutes later, I tightened the connection and tried starting the car. The engine came back to life. Both girls cheered. "You actually fixed it," one of them said. "I guess your car just needed a little attention," I joked. They laughed. The girl with the flashlight looked at me carefully. "Most people would have just driven past us." I shrugged. "Someone helped me once when I was stuck. I never forgot it." She smiled. "That's actually really nice." I closed the hood and stepped back. "There you go. You're good to go." The girls looked at each other, then back at me. "Thank you," the first girl said. "Really? You're welcome." I started walking back to my truck, but then I heard her call my name. I turned around. "You didn't even tell us your name." I laughed. "Daniel." "I'm Emily," she said, pointing to her friend. "And she's Sarah. Nice to meet you both." Emily looked at the rain falling around us. "This weather is terrible. At least let us buy you coffee somewhere to thank you." I shook my head. "No, it's okay. Just get home safely." Sarah smiled. "You're refusing coffee after standing in the rain to fix our car. I have a feeling you'll survive without buying me coffee." Emily laughed. Then she said something I didn't expect. "We want to see you again." I looked surprised. "Again?" "Yes," Emily said. "Someone who helps strangers in the rain is someone worth knowing." I didn't know what to say. After years of feeling invisible, it was strange hearing someone say they wanted to see me again. I gave them my number, and they promised to call. I didn't think much would come from it. But the next morning, my phone rang. It was Emily. "Good morning, mechanic," she said. I smiled. "Good morning." Sarah and I were thinking, since you saved our night, maybe we can return the favor. "How?" "Dinner tonight." I hesitated. I wasn't used to people inviting me places. Most of my life had been work, home, and keeping to myself. But something about her voice made me say yes. That evening, I met them at a small restaurant downtown. Emily was funny and confident. Sarah was quieter but had a kind heart. We talked about everything: travel, dreams, family, and life. I discovered they weren't just two random girls from the side of the road. They were sisters. They had been on their way to visit their grandmother when their car broke down. "My grandmother always says people enter your life for a reason," Sarah told me. I smiled. "Your grandmother sounds wise." "She is," Emily replied. "And she would probably say we were lucky you found us." Over the next few weeks, we kept meeting. Sometimes for coffee. Sometimes for dinner. Sometimes just to talk. I learned that Emily wanted to start her own business, and Sarah loved photography. They learned that I had always dreamed of opening my own repair shop but never had enough confidence to try. "You fix everyone else's problems," Emily told me one day. "Maybe it's time you fix your own dreams." Her words stayed with me. Months passed, and I finally opened a small garage of my own. On opening day, I was shocked when Emily and Sarah walked in carrying a gift. "What are you doing here?" I asked. Emily smiled. We told you we wanted to see you again. Sarah handed me the gift. It was a sign for my new garage. It read, Daniel's Auto Repair, helping people get back on the road. I looked at it and couldn't stop smiling. You two made this. Of course, Emily said. I shook my head. You know, if I hadn't stopped that night, then we wouldn't be here, Sarah finished. That rainy night changed everything. I thought I was only fixing a broken car. But I ended up finding friendship, purpose, and people who reminded me that kindness always comes back in unexpected ways. Years later, whenever it rains, I still remember that night. The broken car, the worried faces, the simple repair, and the two girls who looked at me and said, "We want to see you again." Sometimes the smallest acts create the biggest changes.